Hello, sir. How are you?
I know this guy who looks like me with the same haircut, just as sexy, but who knows what else we're gonna see this year. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well. Thank you very much. So today we're gonna have this live, right? That's what we're gonna do. Is that right?
Bring it on, brother. Let's go.
Yeah. So this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna ask some questions from you, right? I'll tell you when I'm ready. So I'll introduce you as the behavior psychology expert, uh, best-selling author, keynote speaker, you know,
I love
co-founder of Underdog, Millionaire. Okay, all this, and then you can add more, and then I'll ask about your journey and your, where you started, because people like to hear your story, right? So
yeah.
that you speak, and then bring your journey, and then I'll ask about your birthday celebrations and your mastermind and about your book. I know you have a lot of books, but one of the books is what's it called? Today is the day.
Today's the day.
That's the
Yeah,
one. I love that. It's just
yeah.
that's so cool, isn't it? Today's the day. Well, why not today?
Right, right. And if you want to make a change, you got
Yeah,
to start today.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like now's the right time to do the thing. And don't wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow's promised to nobody,
yeah,
right? So
exactly. Now,
yeah.
so yeah,
If I can have one quick second for you, I left the door open.
sure,
It's just like wide open right
no
now.
problem.
Just leave it.
Yep. No, 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 go, go, go. It's
Maybe
okay.
nah, it's gonna come. My wife's got to come back anyways, and I have her key.
Yeah.
If the maids or anybody wants to come in and say hi, they can come and join the show, right?
Absolutely. And yeah, so I'll talk, you can go through the book a little bit. Today's bread is the only bread you can eat, right?
Right, right. Of
Yeah.
course.
And then what else do you want me to ask where you can give more value to them and connect with them so they will, you can probably sell them or something that's going on? Do you want me to focus on something that's going on next few months?
Well, it's the same thing, more around what's driven our success. It's the habits that we've developed,
Yeah.
um, because the only way for someone to become successful in any endeavor is you just have to develop the successful habits, right?
Right.
We are creatures of habits,
Yeah.
and all you have to do is be able to move the conscious habits, which are the new habits we're always trying to get, in a sense, to the subconscious side of us. And in order to do that, you have to do it long enough to go through the four stages
Yeah.
of being able to understand from what is the four levels of competencies. Basically, you got first the unconscious incompetence, the conscious
Yeah.
incompetence, and the conscious competence to the unconscious competent phase, right? That's where the habits are
Yes.
stored. And the problem with most people is they just have too many unconscious, non-productive habits in their life.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
And
I was
so we
just
just gotta
smiling because I went through this little argument with my wife today
uh,
about because apparently rice is not good for me,
right.
but I was born in Sri Lanka. So
And it's in your culture. It's a daily thing. That's
yeah,
like telling you don't breathe fully, right?
exactly. And then I'm thinking because the doctor said too, rice
Yeah.
is very good for me. So she's cooking these new meals, and I'm like, no, this is I can't take this anymore. But then it's the habit. Once you
Yeah.
get through that phase, you're good.
Mhm.
And I know
Yeah.
it's good for me, and I know she's thinking about me. It's just for me. It's not like she's doing it
Right.
for anything else. But I'm pissed off.
Yeah. Right.
I'm human, you know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, when probably if that part comes up,
Yeah,
give me the ability to share because I'll probably go to the board
yeah,
and maybe do something that's
yeah,
visual
yeah, yeah, yeah,
for
yeah. Let me
the
just leave it open. Okay. And yeah, as and when I'll pick things when you say, and then that becomes a
go
flow
from there.
rather than having some set questions. Yeah. I'll let you say
Perfect.
something, and then you bring up something, and then I'll ask questions, and then we'll go that way. I'm not gonna
Absolutely.
drag it too long because we'll keep it to about 20 minutes. Or if you want to drag, that's fine. But it's just
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, we'll see how it goes. Sometimes it gets too interesting, and then it goes
Right.
too long. So yeah,
We
let me
don't
know
have
when
to
you're
drag it
ready.
out.
Yeah, and yeah, I'll start from there, introducing you. Dr. Obom Bowen. Is that right? Did I
Correct.
pronounce it correctly?
Yes, you did.
Good. Okay.
If you don't want to say all that, you can just say Dr. Sexy. That works even better too.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just, yeah, it's the audience. I'll let them say it.
Good morning, Miracle. Somebody just woke up.
Oh, oh, it's morning here, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's noon. She sleeps till noon.
Yeah,
That's the beauty of raising an entrepreneurial child. Goes to bed midnight one, wakes up 12 hours later, school from 12 to 6. She's
yeah,
still ahead of kids,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because when she's learning,
Yeah. There's no pressure either. So yeah,
right?
then it's the mind is relaxed. So you can
Oh,
think.
completely
Okay.
relaxed.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely relaxed.
No.
She might be 6 years old, but 13 years of mental maturity. Mhm. And look, baby, close the door, wait for mommy when she comes home. You can open it for her.
Okay. So
Oh, sorry, it's not a beer, honey, it's his microphone. So your microphone from her perspective looks like a bottle of beer. She's like, why is he drinking beer?
oh, it's this. Okay, sorry.
It's his microphone. No, no.
Yes. It's not a good idea if someone else thinks that way.
I know, right? Like,
Okay, let me start. If you're good, good.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're good, brother.
yeah. Thank you.
All right, let the fun begin.
Yes. Hello, hello, Dr. Obom Bowen. Thank you very much for joining my live. So here you are,
Thank you, my
the
brother.
yeah, keynote speaker, behavioral psychology expert, then best-selling author, co-founder of Underdog Millionaire, and a lot more to come to the list. But I'll let you explain about all this. First of all, I like you to hear from you about your journey. I know you've been through the rough patches, as all of us.
Right, right, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate you. The one thing you forgot to mention is that how sexy I am. At least for those who don't know, you know, Dr. Sexy would work better than all the other accolades.
That's it, Dr. Sexy, you are.
But at least that's what my wife tells me, and my daughter too, right? All right, so let me do this. You sit down and wait for mommy. Love you. I'm excited to be on to come and share. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to connect and share with you and your community. But man, it's been a journey, and sometimes, you know, looking back from where I am now, it's hard to even imagine at times where it all happened and where it all came from. And folks who look at me now, they think like, oh, it's so simple, it's so easy for you, right? It's like, oh, yeah, no, it's because we were talking about it earlier. I've developed the habits that kind of deliver the lifestyle, right? For example, this is coming to mind right now. It's like when you look at someone who is like an alcoholic or a drug addict or something like that, the crazy part is they always claim, right? Like for Alcoholics Anonymous around the world. So and so, I'm an alcoholic. But I haven't had a drink in like 30 years, but they're an alcoholic. They're still holding on to that identity, right? Why can't they be a soberist? Because practically they've been sober for 30 years. Why are you still an alcoholic? When's the last time you touched alcohol? Oh, 19 some. Oh, like, do you realize that this is almost a century later? Yes. So you're a soberist more than an alcoholic. So, going back, I say all that to say this. I don't cling to the identity of the impoverished person, but sharing the story is important, right? So, I mean, I didn't come from means of money. I'm the last of 13 kids. right? Born in South America, in a third world country, in Guyana, and always fighting for everything else. Here's the funny part. My mother wanted to have 2 girls and a boy. She had 1 girl and too many boys. There's 13 of us, 12 boys, 1 girl. So shame on her. However, though, this was the 70s. They really couldn't tell from ultrasound what was going on. So she could have stopped, you know. I was one of the only sons that had like new clothes because all the other kids had passed me downs. But here's why, because my mom swore up and down. She had every symptom with me that she did with my sister, that I was going to be that other girl. So in preparation, she bought a whole bunch of, girl clothes, and so she was excited. So if I were to show you a lot of my baby pictures, I had an identity crisis. Okay, that's how it started. All right, so a bunch of pink tutus. Thank God the pictures back in the 70s were black and white. They weren't introduced to colors yet, so you couldn't tell it was. Anyways, I'll leave that alone. It was just gray, right? We'll leave that there. Our family immigrated to the U.S. I eventually, I had joined the military. I joined the Marine Corps, mostly, to be honest with you, to become a U.S. citizen very early on, which it took me about 18 months to get my citizenship and get things together. I believe the military did that because they figured out if you're going to go fight for the country and probably die, we might just bury you as a citizen, hopefully, right? So one of those. 14 years in, I had just had my last reenlistment, almost at the 15-year mark for the full 20. And I got blown up in Iraq 2 separate times, right? And then another 30 days, blown up again. So 3 separate times. Eventually, I was paralyzed from the waist down, in a wheelchair for 9 months. Couldn't walk, couldn't talk. Got the Purple Heart. 3 of them. Not that I even wanted the first one. When I came back to the States from Iraq, I was married at the time with my first wife. We had a real bad divorce. Ended up homeless. Lost custody of my kids. Living in my car for 5 years. And that's when everything changed, right? So you talk about how did I get from that to earning hundreds of millions of dollars to now? Wasn't overnight, wasn't luck. I got introduced to personal development, and that started it. But in my time in the military, I did go to school a lot, right? The government paid for education, right? So, hey, if they paid for 75% of your tuition, but if you maintain like an A average, they end up paying for 90%. So I only paid for books. My entire college degree, over $1 million worth of education, right? 2 PhDs, doctorates, and a master's degree later, right? Have a behavioral psychology, so PhD in human behavior and psychology. All that happened just before the injury. So I still had all that here. And I had to create a system for myself on, how do I get out of my own way? How do I get out of my own funk? Because the truth is, we all go into funk. And I was sitting there one day, depressed, suicide ideation, the divorce, lost everything. All my belongings was in a storage facility. And I'm telling you, I couldn't even afford to have a storage facility that was air conditioned. So this is, unfortunately, California just had a whole bunch of fires, but at the time, my storage facility was in California. It was August. If you've ever been to California, it is hot in the summer. So I was baking like a turkey in that zinc storage facility, sitting on a box, crying with a 38 to my head, about to pull the trigger because I didn't see a way out. Fortunately and unfortunately, all at the same time, the box broke and gave away because I was sweating and crying. So the box broke away, and out fell the book, Think and Grow Rich. This is like something out of a movie, like, right? I probably should have been reading the book in the first place, but that book, I started reading the book, and chapter 1, which basically focused on desire. And I started to realize, like, well, desire is what will keep you up late at night and wake you up early in the morning. So, my desire was to be able to provide something for my two daughters at the time that are now 23 and 24 and 26. Man, they each just had a birthday like last month and this month. Sheesh, they're growing, right? So that kind of shifted my focus from taking my own life, right? Like I was in a really messed up place. It took another 3 years to get myself developed. A friend of mine introduced me to direct sales, right? Network marketing. And the next 3 years, I built a network marketing business. I probably made maybe $6,000 the whole time, right? So that was some training for you right there, okay? That was some training. It was hard. It wasn't easy. It was like hand to mouth. If I didn't make a sale a day, I didn't eat. That's how I lived for a very long time. So some folks, they think, where life is now, that I didn't have hardship. Well, trust me, I had hardship for a very long time. But then it didn't work there. I didn't quit. What I realized, I didn't want to admit it because I needed money. I needed a place to live, right? I was still in my car homeless. What I realized by then is it takes on average about 5 years to reprogram your mind and have the right habits, because whatever you think influence what you say, whatever you say influence what you do, whatever you do compound over time. The habits we have is what creates the lifestyle we develop, right? And so by then, even though I knew it, I was like, I'm gonna put in maximum time and I could get it faster. Well, it doesn't really work that way. And the time is the time. So it took 5 years. I joined a different company. But when I launched that other business, all the lessons I learned 3 years prior was compounded. Then I started earning the money. I mean, within 9 months, I earned more than I did in the last 3 years. Heck, within the first 30 days, I earned more than I did the previous 3 years. So, but in that company, when I showed up, folks are like, oh, this guy is so great. Au contraire, I had 5 years of failure or practice rather to come and master it here. Fast forward 3 years into that, I met my wife now. We started working together. Like the Bible was right when it says, when a man find a good woman, he find a good thing. I found me a great thing, right? Let me tell you. So, but the next 3 years, we got into generating our first 6-figure, then $250,000. Then I started coaching and consulting. I picked up Walmart as a client, then Walgreens, Chevron, right? And then the 7 figures started to kick in. Things started to change. I started writing books. The book started selling, hundreds of thousands of copies, right? We started earning millions of dollars. And I started to become this person. Yeah. Fast forward, stayed focused. About 13 years later, which was about 5 years ago, my wife and I built and sold over 112 different companies. We still own 9 now. And today, I've reduced my life to 2 simple things: food and sex. That's it. I'm a basic human being.
I love it. Okay.
That's it. So grandma was right. She said the way to a man's heart is his stomach, right? You got to eat enough to have energy to do what he really wants to do. So that's what my life has come down to. We still, coach and consult and help. I live at resorts around the world because I love to travel. My wife loves to travel. We homeschool the little one, right? And enjoy life, because there is another side of it. Been there, done that, will never volunteer to go back. Yeah. But, now my mission in life is to help others find, their gift, monetize it as a gift to the world, build wealth, multiply it, keep it, and turn it into a legacy, right? So that's my focus now. So I hope that answered the question, my friend.
This is amazing. No, thank you very much. This is cool.
Absolutely.
About the journey is amazing. But one thing on the food and the drinks. So if you have to have a glass of Baileys, what would you have to do?
Well, what would I have to do? Right now, I just have to walk over to the refrigerator.
Do you have to walk around 1 mile still?
Oh, yeah. Well, so here's the thing about living an all-inclusive lifestyle, right? when I started doing it about 3 years ago, apparently I was taking it literally, all inclusive. I was trying to eat everything all day since it's available 24 hours a day. Why not? And I started to get all the calories that come with it too. And I didn't like how I look. So my coach and nutritionist told me, he says, brother, listen, just because it says all inclusive, you don't have to eat it all. Okay. So I said, well, you're going to have to come out here and teach me what to do. So I flew my coach out. We spent a week together. Maybe we went to every restaurant on the property, took the menus and showed me. Well, I'm like, oh, I'm going to get this. He's like, nope, nope. Right. So we cut out a lot of things, got used to the new habits. Right. And after that, I have released about 6 to 8 inches from my waist. Of course, look, I'm sexy again. Look, muscles are coming all over the place now, right? It's insane. But I told him, I don't care what you say, I'm not going to stop drinking Baileys. So he says, well, for every glass of Baileys you drink, you're going to have to, at least walk for like 20, 30 minutes. I said, hey, no problem. I started taking a glass and I just went for the walk while I drank, right? So I'm like, you put a calorie in, burn it off while you do it. No problem. It's like, I can do this all day, right? So
Love that one. I had to ask that question. Let's get to the wonderful things you do. I know your birthday is a special one. Talk to me about your birthday celebrations.
Yeah. So back to that same story. But what I did is after I hired my coach and came out, I realized I was pushing 50. You start to think differently about life. And I didn't really like, even though round is a shape, I didn't like looking round. You know what I'm saying? It's like there. So I decided to, bring my nutritionist and coach out for like my birthday week. And I made it in my mind as next year, this time for my birthday, that was like almost 4 years ago, I am going to be this much lighter, this much in shape, and so on and so forth. And we sat down, we went through the menu. We did the same thing with him back when we were in the States, have him show us how to cook, what to cook, all this other stuff, right? And it worked out very well. So during my birthday week, I said, well, you know what? But also, I call it the Bowen birthday beatdown week, because for a week, we came out and had a really good boot camp session. I was sore forever. However, it worked and we kept up that. So I'm like, listen, the next year, I'm not going to be the only one that's going to feel this pain. I'm going to invite some friends to come feel some pain with me, but have a good time all together. So we invited a lot of our friends to come spend a week with us. Oh, fun at a resort, no problem. But the mornings are reserved for the butt whippings, right? So we all go down and get a great workout first thing in the day. Then we hit the spa and you get a hydro spa treatment, hot plunge, cold plunge, sauna, you name it, a massage, and they feel good after the beat down. So they all love that, but they have to get the beat down first. Then we eat healthy throughout the day. We focus a lot on networking and connecting because, there's the old adage that your net worth equals your net worth. So a lot of our friends that have the net worth and aren't really so much focused on their health, that's the focus. We spend a week teaching you what to do. It takes 21 days to create a new habit. So in that week, we're giving them 1 week out of the next 21 days. So all they have to go back and do is maintain it for the next 14 days. Voila, you have a new habit. So now we have a bunch of healthy friends running around. And ever since then, every year I do this annual birthday bash / beatdown. I should rename it to the beatdown or the paradise beatdown, right? Come into paradise and get a beatdown while you're there. Be a whole new rendition of This Is Sparta.
So when is this day? People might want to.
So my birthday is December. This year it's going to be December 7th to the 14th. So every year, December 7th to the 4th. Well, this year, December 7th and 14th, well, in between there. Try to keep it in between, like a Saturday to Saturday. So you have a great fly in, fly out chance to relax for the weekend. If you came alone or you came with a spouse or bring your kids, you still have a great time, a vacation, fun. But you learn, connect, grow, network, with other, 7, 8, 9-figure earners, but on a very casual basis. And the best way to really get to know someone is to, we used to say in the military, you have to bleed together to get to know each other. Yeah. Fortunately, we're not beating anybody till they bleed. But if you sweat together, right, that's it, right? White blood instead of red blood, right? Unless you sweat green, right? I don't know. I sweat white or colorless, right? But yeah, the more you're able to do things like, or suffer together, human suffering builds togetherness, right? That's how we operated back in the caveman days. We all suffered together, running from Sabretooth, and then all of a sudden, hey, you my friend, we can go kill Sabretooth together, right? So same thing. Now Sabretooth is just like being too heavy or being too broke. So yeah, if you find the right enemy and you have a common enemy, the common enemy could be being overweight. The common enemy could be, not earning a certain income, and you kind of grow with that group, and you pledge together. Like all of us, we made a pact, aka a goal set for the year. Who, what you're going to look like, what you're going to earn, and how you're going to work and do business together. So that's what that whole focus is about. And then of course there's fun and drinks and lots of walking with Baileys around the perimeter. So there's a little of that.
That's the birthday bash.
That's the birthday.
Talk to me about the mastermind. So this mastermind is can anyone join, or is there restrictions to that?
Yeah, so we do two different versions of our masterminds. Yeah. We focus a lot now on high ticket coaches and selling. For anyone who wants to come, like we can do a retreat for just anybody, right? And do some teaching and some training and development depending on where they're at. But ideally, we're looking for the folks at a minimum that's earning, close to $500,000, that wants to get to $1 million that year and beyond. And then we do the higher level, that are folks that are between 1 to 5 million, that are looking to generate 10 million. So the mastermind is focused on the mindset, skill set, and the action step that they need to take to get there, right? So we spend a week together going over reverse engineering their plan and their path specific to them. So we'll have like my team out there. Sometimes some folks, it's just, how they're doing their marketing. One of the guys I work with right now, because a lot of folks, it's all about marketing and connection, and how do you get your message. He is one of only 4 people in all of Go High Level, because we use Go High Level as our system. One of only 4 people in all of Go High Level that's done every one of their certifications. So he's one of their certified partners that work with us. So whatever our clients need, we can help fix and do. If Go High Level can do it, our team can get it done for them, right? So we make those things very simple and possible for them. So whatever your task is, be it marketing, sales, mindset, we'll get it knocked out in that week, have a lot of fun. And when you leave with your action plan to just go and conquer the next 90 days, and the next 90 days, and the next 90 days, and the next 90 days. And that's a year. Right. So we've broken most of it down so folks can focus on the next 90 days in front of them, so they're not intimidated by 12 months. Because if you crush the 90 days, the next 90 days is going to be easier. Yeah. And you crush that one, that's half a year. And the next half a year is going to be simpler. Right. So we really love simplifying. And this year, our entire theme is simplified success.
Right. On the same topic, if someone has a company and they got employees and they want to come together and do a retreat, is that a possibility? They can arrange it with you, I guess.
Absolutely. That's one of my passions, of helping someone for 2 reasons in that corner. One, you can scale your business by bringing your executive team and learning and teaching, and we can help them. But one of the focuses we spend a lot of our time on is helping coaches who want to be able to take their business to the next level financially, that we can do done-for-you retreats and masterminds for them, for their clients. That way they don't have to think about the logistics, the administration, all that. It's all done for you, right? I live here, so it's not work. The staff knows me. You come, you show up, you look like a stud rock star. Yeah, right. You have a good time and we help you. But so we focus on those 2 aspects. If the company wants to come and learn to grow, it's like you can grow and bring your team on Zoom and work through that. But if you spend a week together
No.
You work out together, you have a great time, you eat, you break bread. The conversation, in a sense, it never stops.
Yes.
And then it creates a mastermind within your company. And when you leave, it is so productive. And it's funny, we did one of those a couple months ago. By day 4, they were all ready to go because they've done so much. Like, oh, really, it was like, all right, that's gonna be great. Set out the action plan, call your folks back home, have a Zoom, have them start, but you all need to relax, okay? Because you're gonna go running for the next 90 days. They're like, yeah, we're ready. They're like, no, you need to relax. But I love those moments because when not only just the CEO of the company or the CEO or someone gets the vision, everyone gets the vision, everyone gets connected, everyone is running. And when they set their goals, like, oh, this is what we're going to do for the year, and you bring it down and say, listen, you can do that in 90 days. And they're like, well, okay, well, if we get this done, what are we going to do for the rest of the year? And that's when the light bulb comes on. Right. Because now if put it this way, if you can take your 12-month goal and accomplish it in 90 days, what would you do for the rest of the year?
Exactly. You do the same.
100x, you would 100x your business. All right. So, and they're not used to thinking that way, but that's the world I live in. Right. That's the world I've been living in since, gosh, forever and a day. In the beginning, most folks just thought I was completely insane. Now they think I'm a genius. Right. How does that work? 18 years ago, I started focusing on partnerships and collaborations. And a lot of peers and others were telling me, oh, you're stupid for doing that. Like, you wait. No, now they say I'm a genius. We got over 250 different partnerships, either paying 10, 30, or 50%. Now they all want to know how I did it. You should have paid attention. Now you're going to pay double. It's called idiot taxes. You didn't see the vision in the beginning. Now you're going to pay for not seeing it. And I have zero apologies for them. At that point, zero.
Okay, talking about that, I love one of your books, which is Today's the Day.
Yes, that's my favorite book, actually.
Talk to me about it. Yeah.
So the Today's the Day philosophy, here, a little backstory on that. So when you think of it, I have a PhD in human behavior, a PhD in psychology. So as a behaviorist, I looked at what I needed to do to pull myself out of the mess I was in. And to come down with everything else. It was there, honestly, that day when I was crying and I read Think and Grow Rich, and I realized, that's it. Today's the day. I'm done with all the excuses, because you can go through life only one or two ways, with excuses or responsibility. Right? Excuses or results. You can't have both. So if you choose results, you have to take responsibility and do the work. So I started focusing on, as a behaviorist, well, what behaviors do I need to have? What habits do I need to have? And I started writing all these things down, knowing from the understanding that I have. So I created for myself a plan of action that I can take. And I wrote it down, and I was like, I know this is going to work. Tested, tried, and proved. Used a lot of it in the military, used it in so many other case studies, and this is my work plan. That became my Today's the Day action process. Used it, helped myself, got out of the gutter, made millions of dollars. And then when Walmart hired me, I taught their high performance leaders the exact same process. I was like, oh, that works pretty good. Well, I did. And then I wrote, the truth was, I was never going to write it as a book, but I already had it out as a plan I was going to give to my children so they could understand the methodology of becoming wealthy, because you have to turn your mind around first. And in behavior, there are basically 14 elements to the human psyche that, should you turn them on and have a plan to fix it, you become the greatest version of yourself. So I wrote the book in 15 chapters. The last chapter is basically applying these 14 things. You become a person of value and significance. And once you taste significance, success no longer cuts it. But of the 14 principles that we have to kind of go through, 9 of them are subconscious to us. So if you're able to then bring that subconscious to the conscious side and work on that stuff, you start doing things that people say is impossible. Jesus walked on water. How? He believed he could. Like I can walk on water for about 3 steps and then it go down. It's like I still don't fully believe it, right? But if I work, there's a dude that's walking on water out in India right now, light as a feather, right? I don't have the time to do that much meditation. I'll tell you that right now. However, because I'll put it this way, greedy, I decided to write the book, but I wrote it on a subconscious level. So it awakens your subconscious because there are some narcissists out there. And if they read the book helps you to become or embrace your vulnerabilities. The reason I wrote it on the subconscious level is a narcissist will never have vulnerabilities because they're too perfect. So they will never unlock the true potential of that book. But a person with humility will, right? We've helped over 53,000 people with that. The same philosophy. We've helped Walmart stores, Jafra Cosmetics, Nice Media COVID, Chevron, Walgreens. The list goes on to a lot of the Fortune 100 clients that we still have today and who've made hundreds of billions of dollars. So it works. And whenever people are finished making an excuse, I always ask them, what are you going to do today? Today's the day. Now you can start today or you can waste time and start tomorrow. But regardless of whatever happens, tomorrow becomes today. But tomorrow is not promised to anybody. So if you're going to die at the end of the day, you might as well do something productive today. Right. So the book, Today's the Day, is really about making no excuses, taking responsibility, learning what you need to do. Like chapter 1, the chapter is called Hidden in Plain Sight. So it starts to explain these things in your life in the world that first, before you were made aware, were unseen to you. It's kind of like Neo waking up outside of the Matrix. Once you see it, once you learn it, you can't unlearn it. Mm-hmm. And the mind works best like a parachute, best when open, right? The parachute, if you jump out of a plane and you see it saved your life first, you're gonna be like, the next plane I'm going to, how fast do I get this thing open? You're now made aware of it. And awareness leads to change, right? So once you're aware, you now, even though it leads to change, you now have a choice. Awareness leads to choice, choice leads to action, action creates results, and results drive lifestyle. So the change is over here. You're made aware. The book makes you aware. Now, once you're aware, it's your choice, and it becomes harder to fail than it is to succeed. So anyone who has read that book who fail afterwards, they're choosing to fail.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of a harsh reality, but once you finish that book, it is a slap in your face. So like, here's why you've been failing. Here's what you can do to succeed. You choose, right? There's, gosh, I don't know if you've ever watched this show, but there's a show back in the States, it was called The 100, right? It was these kids, one of those apocalyptic shows. So The 100, it talks about humanity came to an end because of AI, right? Crazy, go figure that. And this AI was seeing that we were killing ourselves, so it decided to create a version of us that would help us be sustained. So it just kind of blew up the whole world. And they end up living in space for over 100 years. Well, the space stations can no longer sustain themselves, so they chose these 100 kids that were bad, they put in jail, that they're going to send them down to Earth to see if it's livable again, unbreathable. The point I'm getting to make is, in this, they started going through the evolution of some of the folks who lived afterwards anyways. There was a season called the season of Blood Reina. So one of the girls, she became like the queen that led them. And she created this whole, they were divided into factions from the folks who were down on Earth. And she created this, listen, from here on out, we're going to have one faction, AKA we're calling it one crew. So her whole thing was, you are either one crew or you're the enemy of one crew. Choose. So when someone reads Today's the Day, you're either focused on wealth or you're focused on poverty. Choose. Right? So when for those who watch it, I always just have them watch that episode. And so like, you're either one crew or you're the enemy of one crew. Choose.
And choose today, yeah?
And choose today. And you have to take your responsibility because, here's the deal. If you don't, well, Shakespeare wrote it thousands of years ago. He said in Macbeth, today and today creeps in this petty pace from day to day, and all the dawn that sink, there's nothing left to be fulfilled. What he was saying is, listen, you can promise you're going to do what you need to do today, tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes.
Absolutely.
If you don't do something today. So that's why the book is called Today. Can you tell I'm excited about the work in that book? That's my favorite book.
Yeah. No, I can. And I'm really excited as well. I'm gonna get that book. I'll let you know when I get the book.
Oh, you'll love it. You can if you have Audible, it's on Audible. You can download and
Oh
listen
yeah,
to
yeah.
it
Oh,
on
cool.
there. So
Oh, that's even
it's
better. I
yeah,
love
even
listening.
better. Right.
Yeah,
I do too. Most of the times I work out and I listen to books.
yeah, yeah. Net time.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's been a great pleasure, and it was an honor to have you here. So
Thank
yeah,
you, my
thank you
friend.
very much, Dr. Obom. I'll probably see you this year. That's my plan,
Yes, you will.
and
Yes, you will.
yeah, we'll catch up again. I'm sure we can catch up again. And thank you very much for your time. I'll yeah talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
You
Thank you
take
for your
care.
time, my brother.
God bless you.